Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video series on the Constructive Criticism YouTube channel. My name is Mason, and I'm going to be your host for this series. So basically, each week I'm going to run through a league with a deck that's popular right now in the format du jour. So this week we're doing Standard because Standard just happened last week with GP Memphis. There's not a whole lot of coverage right now for Standard, and we know that there are a lot of people that are PvT grinding that want some Standard content. So we're hoping that you're going to enjoy this video. So basically, this week we're going to go through blue-black control through a league through Moto, and we're going to talk about the deck real quick here and why we chose this deck and a couple of the card choices. So we chose this deck because it's a deck that I've been playing recently. I've played it in 2 PBDQs now and through 4 or 5 leagues, so I feel I've got a decent grasp for the deck. Also, the reason we chose this particular deck list, it's very close to Heath Vance's top 8 deck list from GP Memphis. Heath is a local guy to our area that I know from PBDQ grinding, and actually lost to him in the finals of PBDQ yesterday playing this mirror. So GG's Heath, but we're going to play his deck with a few changes, and we're going to talk about the changes real quick and what's different from the deck list that we talked about on Constructed Criticism last week, and Spencer and I were kind of championing before. So the biggest difference in the main deck between this deck and the deck that me and Spencer were talking about was Consign to Oblivion versus Commit. So originally, me and Spencer played one Consign, one Commit. It was a little bit more versatile. It was nice to have the discard as well in certain situations. You know, you can upkeep Flash and a Gearhulk. I'm sorry, in their draw step, Flash and a Gearhulk, discard their hand. It was very nice. I've decided to play 2 commits for this league just to try it out. I mean, both Heath and Ephra want to do this, and I've seen a lot of 5-0s. And I know that I like Consign, so I wanted to try playing a little bit more with Commit Memory just to give it a whirl. So that's something too out of the ordinary for a stock deck list, but for the deck list that we've been playing, except for yesterday as well, because I played 2 commit. We're playing 2 commit memory for that reason. And I had to talk over myself. But it doesn't matter. We're moving on. Don't worry about the baboon. We'll get there too. You have to stay with the video series for that. And then the other big thing in our sideboard is we're playing 2 Arguel's Bloodfast, and we're playing no Glintsleeve Siphoner. So I love Glintsleeve Siphoner in the sideboard. I think it's great. I think it serves a very good job of being a proactive threat they have to answer that draws you cards. It's just a very helpful card in the matchups where you want it. But everyone knows that you play Glintsleeve Siphoner, so we're trying out some hot tech of no creatures that are going to die to the Fatal Pushes and Moment of Cravings in case they decide to leave in that removal. Some people do, some people don't. I don't know if there's a general consensus on it, but I know that it gets mixed up there. So we're playing 2 Arguel Bloodfast to dodge that and hopefully keep all their removal down all the way. When it comes to Deadeye Tracker and Kingpin, in those matchups where they're really good, it's worth having it, and they normally don't have a lot of great removal for those cards anyways. Now, the other 2 things that are spicy in our sideboard is we play 1 River's Rebuke. This is for green-red monsters and tokens and other weird strategies that really clog up the board. It's a nice way to just answer everything and move on. I don't know if I love it. I didn't play it yesterday at the PBDQ, but we're going to try it online here again to give it a shot and give it a whirl for the league video. And we're also playing 1 Metallurgic Summoning. So this is the way to win against decks like Tokens, Bant Approach, the Hour Promise decks, and green-red monsters as well. It's really good there. I played with this card yesterday at the PBDQ, and I was very happy with it. So we're going to run it back here. And yeah, that's the end of this, and let's hop into our first game. We're in here for game number 1, and we've got a pretty reasonable hand. There are a lot of hands like this, so I keep where you've got a lot of action and you have Azcanta and 2 lands, so we're going to keep. Now I'm going to try not to shuffle my cards around too much, but we're going to get them in CMC order, because that's the way I like to order it on Magic Online. Alright, looks like we're playing against green-red monsters. I played against this deck like 5 times yesterday, so we've played this matchup a good bit. I feel pretty favored in it, as I know some other some blue-black players feel about the matchup. I know that the general wisdom is that they are favored. Okay, so they're going to keep that on. Oh, they're thinking about keeping it on top for the old Gearhulk. But I felt like every time I lost, it was because of my own mistakes, so we'll see if we do it again. Oh, this is so good. See? So we want to make sure we tap our mana correctly, but after we do that, we want to make sure that we get Search for Azcanta down, just to smooth out our draws. There are some cards we don't want to hit, and we definitely want to hit our land drops, since we have a lot of good interactive pieces. Look at them. Look at their beautiful lands. Just amazing. Alright. The 2 cards entered the reveal zone, so they drew 2 lands. Oh, okay, so they've struggled to survive. Top of their deck. Cool. And they drew a Braid this last turn. We'll get to the baboon. Don't worry. We got plenty of time. We're playing blue-black. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, we don't want to search for Azcanta, which is almost off screen. All right. Yes, we'll just play this island. Ooh. But no, so the baboon, I need to get a logo that fits here for everything. But instead I put my spirit animal, the baboon, because the baboon is really me at my soul. So, all right, so our opponent drew struggle to survive this turn. We are gonna fatal push here. Well, we could take it and they might play around Disallow, but they have to also respect Essence Scatter. And we don't actually have the Disallow, so we can't, do nothing. Sometimes I do like doing nothing, though, to take damage in order to make them play around stuff. Oh, it seems like they have some sort of pump spell. Or they don't realize they're in blocks. That's a much more reasonable play. I was like, am I getting Invigorated Rampaged? Alright, so it seems like they're playing a card. Another Jade Light? Sure. You do need to, like, pause sometimes, especially in real life, to not let them know what you have. Now, alright. Left a braid on top twice. Okay, so left on top to make sure it was a 4-3. Gotcha, that makes sense. So their hand's probably pretty well set up currently if they're willing to do that. We're going to move this so it's more on screen. We definitely want the land, but we need to get some more interactive pieces. I think we're just going to draw it. Alright, we'll play this and then pass the turn. I just know we want to hit land 5 for Scarab God. And we want to hit land 6 for Gearhulk. So, I'd rather do this and just hope to get to the Gearhulk. Alright, we're going to take 7 here and go to 7. Remember, our opponent does have an Abrade for Gearhulk. Okay, so we're going to Vraska Contempt this. Whoa. Was Vraska Contempt the wrong Jade Light Ranger? They might have Blossoming Defense main deck. I've seen some people do that. So, okay. They decide not to do it. Well, I'm not going to bin a Vraska Contempt. Alright. So now they need to apply a little bit more pressure to us. And they have played the Rootbound Crag, so let's make sure to get that off the screen. They still have 5 cards in hand. This deck is really good at having a lot of cards in hand until you really start answering their threats. Alright, we're going to take this. We're going to leave up Vraska Contempt for Phoenix and things like that, but we're going to really hope to Glimmer this turn. If they play something like a Branch Walker, we're going to be quite happy. Even a Kenra, which is annoying, we can be pretty happy about. Now, they didn't have any Kenra because they would have played it pre-combat because they all have good post-combat abilities. Alright. So they don't have a Glorybringer because they would have played it. We're going to have Vraska Contempt this, then play the Scarab God. I guess it kind of depends on what we draw, actually, since we do know they have struggle to survive. We'll essentially be time-walking them. We would really like to flip this, I guess, first. Alright, we need to graveyard that. Well, a couple plays here. We can play Scarab God and know they're going to struggle to survive. I think we're just going to wait, actually. If we had drawn an untapped land, I would have done it in order to make sure that they... Sorry, something randomly just happened on my computer. But you guys don't have computer sound on, so you don't know. But, sorry about that. Oh. Okay. Sorry, it kept happening. I'm so sorry about that. So I would have done the play in order to time walk them and force them to answer my Scarab God if I could fatal push the 3-2. That way we didn't take any damage. But we can do a similar play this turn and work towards actually having the flip Azcanta as well. So we're going to take 3 more. It sucks, but hey, what are you going to do? We know 2 of their cards in hand are answers. All right. So here we go. We're going to hit some land drops now. I mean, I assume we are. All right, we have that. This card's fine, but I think we have better cards to be hitting. All right. We basically have to bin whatever this is because we want the untapped land. Yeah, we'd much rather have a Azcanta flipped than a swamp. Alright, so Moment of Craving is a good draw. So now we have that 3-2 covered, so we really don't have to play Scarab God here. and we just get to keep playing. Commit counters any main deck Carnage Tyrant nonsense they might have. The one good thing I found out about playing with Commit to Memory yesterday is it does a good job of time walking them for a couple turns, even if you never use the memory half, and having the memory half for people that try to mill you is important. And I think I might have F6, but we're going to turn off auto yield. Are they playing a bird? Oh. Well, this is the upside of leaving all your mana up. And then if they Blossoming Defense, we'll commit it. Okay. So now we did that. Let's pull back up those revealed cards. Awesome. So this is what you call the corner. And I think we've turned it. Let's see what... Oh, geez, that's so small. All right. Hieroglyphic Disallow. Moment of Craving. Moment of Craving is kind of decent right now. I think we just want the... Well, we have card draw with our land, so we're just going to take the Disallow. So after our Scarab God resolves, we're fine. Any order. Perfect. All right. So now we've got Disallow to protect our Scarab God. They're going to tap out. What we're probably going to do is we're going to let them struggle it, and then we'll Disallow. Oh, they're just going to play a bird. Okay, well, that's fine. We only need to have the Scarab God in play for one turn to beat you, so. Which isn't like me trying to be cocky or anything. It's just the truth. Like, their deck plays a lot of like mopey creatures. Well, not mopey. They're resilient creatures. But once you get the Scarab God online, it just doesn't really matter. All right, we're going to take the Jade Light Ranger because we want to hit land drops. All right, let's explore. We'll put that on top of our deck. All right, so I can leave up the commit memory now to protect our Scarab God. So I think we're just going to do that. We're going to leave this on top. All right, play a land. The only way I can imagine us losing now is like Glorybringer, running Glorybringer. So leaving up the commit, something I'm interested in doing. And then end of turn, we can buy back their bird. We'll probably actually buy back their Branchwalker and try and draw more lands. Assuming they don't do anything. Alright, well, we will do this in order to keep lethal on board. Or close to lethal, I should say. Alright. So, we beat Pigeons there. And before I was doing this, I was just bringing in Metallurgic Summonings, and I only had one Deadeye Tracker, so I brought this in. It was just a way to answer the Kenras and the birds. I'm not sure now we have another Deadeye, another Moment of Craving. So the cards I was cutting before was I was trimming on a Glimmer of Genius, and I was trimming on a Search for Azcanta, because it's good, but not super great. This card is super good, though. This card kind of shuts them down. It's a lot like Scarab God, but hard to answer. I'm not exactly sure what I want. I don't hate the idea of having River's Rebuke for this, just to like unsummon everything. But it isn't great. Moment of Craving isn't great in the matchup either. Neither is Fatal Push, but we need interaction. One of the ways I find that we lose is they get underneath us, like a lot of decks really, and we don't have time to answer everything. So I don't hate cutting a Fatal Push for a Deadeye Tracker. It trades with some of the things, especially if they don't get like good explorers, and it answers the Kenras, but I don't love it. I don't love the river. I mean, it's fine. The commit memory I think we need for the Carnage Tyrant, plus the tempo against that deck is huge. If you ever commit like their Branchwalker late game in that kind of situation before we land the Scarab God, you know that they have one draw step to draw something good, and then they're on like Branchwalkers, which isn't great. Also, I like leaving this in over Glimmer because we can cycle if we get, you know, land screwed. I think we're just going to run this back. The Deadeye Tracker isn't amazing, but it's not the worst. I am curious to see how this goes, but I think this card is much better against tokens and things like that. So, even though I was told quite good against green-red. Okay. This is an interesting hand. Very good if we draw like a swamp or two. We're going to mulligan. Their starts are pretty quick. All right, so we're going to go to 5. I think if I had an Azcanta, I would have kept. And well, this is, you know, kind of close to the first hand we had. Except worse. Alright. On bottom. It is okay. There we go. It is weird because like if we had a black, like a dual land, or just even a black source, we would have kept easily because we had Moment of Craving and Essence Scatter. But I don't feel comfortable with just one piece of interaction. So, alright. It looks like our opponent's also not having a very quick start. That's good for us. Metallurgic Summonings really does take over the game, unless they have a bunch of flyers, which we can normally answer with our Vraska Contempts and commit to memories. It just holds the ground down so much that they can't take us. Also, sometimes you just win. Oh. Looks like they kept a land heavy hand. Well, we're going to cycle this. We have to hit land drops. All right. Well. Rub hands together. Let's see if we're going to get an exciting game. I might just play a Phoenix and we might just die. But we'll see. Nope. Tap your green for Jade Light. All right. I can't beat that one. I could beat Jade Light. All right, we're just going to draw a black source here. Easy. I'm going to draw a land untapped next turn, then we're in it again. They could play a Jade Light this turn, and we could just Moment of Craving, you know, trigger on the stack and be in it. It looks like they're playing Glorybringer. Oh, Kenra. Okay. Not the best of threats for us. I think Jade Light was the best threat for them to play from our perspective. Obviously, this one's much more annoying for me. But I think we just need to deploy our hand. And if they spend their turns paying 6 mana for that, when we have the clean answer with commit in our hand, we're good. Also, it's not like we have another land. If we had another land, then maybe we can think about taking it. But, alright, easy. Well, I should have known we were going to have another land. Just stone cold. Yeah. Alright. So game is back on. Especially if we can get a Vraska's... I'm sorry, a Metallurgic Summonings down the next turn, and they don't have too many flyers. Like, if they buy that Kenra here and just 8 us... Oh, 8 us. Oh. Oh, baby. Now our Fatal Pushes are alive. Oh, and Taylor Swift has popped on my side music in the back that you guys can't hear because of copyright. Ooh-wee. This is a good game. All right. They've already played their land, and they're going to attack no matter what, and I want to have 6, so. We're going to do this now. Obviously, there might be a world where they misclick through their attacks. We're going to give our opponent more credit than that. All right. This beats this if we can draw an untap land. Boom. All right. One turn to just kind of crush us. And then after this, we're doing quite well. Actually, another untap land off the top would be kind of insane. Alright, so we're going to take 8, go to 8. Don't love that, but, you know, Fatal Push is a real draw. Fatal Push is actually kind of an insane draw. It's not the best draw, but it's good. Okay, Glimmer. So we could Glimmer. Don't really feel like that's what we want to do, so we're just going to pass. Actually, we maybe should have just Vraska Contempted here in case they have Blossoming Defense. We won't die this turn regardless. Well, now we will because of the 2-1, but we wouldn't have before. Alright, well, they're tapping down on their green, so that makes my life a lot easier. Okay, which one are they going to target with this? They should probably target this thing. Oh, alright, well, we're going to find out if we're going to lose the game or not here in a second. Alright, swamp, D. Now, I did kind of give us a chance to lose, and that's on my... I should have thought about it and just Vraska Contempt the Glorybringer. Now, we might get more value from this because of our greedy play, and we did. Never lucky, Rubber Ducky. Oh, they're going to braid our artifact. That's quite good if they do. Alright. So we're down to 4. Not great. But if we draw an untapped land, our Gearhulk will be really in it. Disallow is interesting. We can Glimmer here and try and find another early piece of interaction and a land. I think we should probably just commit the token. I think that's a little safer. We're dead to Glorybringer no matter how you slice it, because there's just too many things. So I think committing the token makes the most sense. Now, this card does have 7 CMC when you reveal it to a Bob, but since we're only casting commit, it is only a 4 CMC card. I know, quite sad. Because a 10 CMC, we would have been like, boom, 10-10, game over. Alright, we might just be dead here. Oh, we are just dead to this. Alright. Whoops, forgot about that. Oh, our opponent's going to play something different. Struggle? I guess they want to play around Fatal Push. Alright, Death Gorge Scavenger. That's pretty good. Gonna eat our memory. Oh, Vraska's Contempt. Okay, well, we still have another Vraska's Contempt and a Moment of Craving. So, are they gonna survive now? Looks like a survive, yeah. Alright, we're dead. That was an instant, so we were gonna die either way. Okay. So, still like the idea of Deadeye. Oh, I should have mentioned, we cut a Moment of Craving in the sideboard. I forgot to mention that during the deck tech part at the beginning. This is not a lot of mono red I've been running into, so we cut one. Psycho. Alright. In real life, though, I play Moment of Craving, so, you know, that's life. I still like our plan. This card was quite, like, they have to resolve stuff, but it was good, and that was not bad for a Mold of 5, so we're going to run it back. Alright. Don't make me edit this out, Twitch, or opponent, whatever their name is. Lots of Piggles. I can't actually read his little name. I guess now's a good time to say, hey, if you're liking this video, let us know. Message Spencer, message me, give us a like, give us some comments. You know, it's always nice to know the stuff we're doing is being liked, and any advice, deck suggestions, or critiques would be helpful. Maybe we want... No. Thinking maybe we want 2 of these when we're on the play, but it's not. It's only just fine. It is also possible we were supposed to Glimmer and try and find like a Moment of Craving or a Fatal Push. I could totally see that being right. So. Alright, we'll be back. Okay, we are back. Our opponent finally got done sideboarding. Well, I'm gonna keep this hand. It's very similar to like the problem we talked about the last hand, except I've got a lot of the cards I want to get to. So, specifically these two. Looks like they're having a little mulligan happen. It's very possible we're supposed to mulligan this hand. Alright, lots of Piggles. You're playing the green-red deck. Come on, buddy. Piggies. Oh, lots of piggies. It's an I. I leaned in. I saw it. That's a pretty good moto name. It's no Mason Clark, but I mean, you know. What is? Alright, we're 1 land away from our hand being online. Be curious to see how they play around Essence Scatter. I don't think you really do when it's just 2 mana up. You'd be like very happy at the Essence Scattered. Yep. Like I would not Essence Scatter this, for example. Carnage Tyrant. That one I would if I could. Oh, Bennett. Alright. Ooh. F6. Alright. That's fine as long as we find an untapped land next turn. It looks like our opponent doesn't have a 3-drop. Makes life easier for us. Had it. I'm curious what they've got to be play like a bird here, right? If they miss a land here, alright. It's interesting because I think we have to Glimmer, which kind of sucks. We want to answer the bird. Alright, we'll scare them. Alright, so we need both these lands. It's kind of mopey, but we get to guarantee our Gearhulk, which is probably more than enough to beat them, so. That was basically a Hieroglyphic Illumination. Oh man, if I had gone for the greedy play, we would have got the little ship. I might play a Glorybringer here. That would be annoying. They're definitely playing Carnage Tyrant next turn if they can. Alright. Trying to think of how much we need to leverage our life total here. So we can Vraska Contempt this, they're 22. But we might be making them play around counter spells and just trying to waste them. And they'd be like, oh yeah, we have a Carnage Tyrant, it doesn't really matter. They might just play into it. Alright. So I'm willing to lose 2 life net in order to time walk them. They might Blossoming Defense this, but that card's going to be good against me the entire time. It doesn't get bad. Alright. If they have a 6th land, this is Carny T time. Now we've got commit, Gearhulk commit. So we've got a couple turns. Is this the old Carnage Tyrant? That's actually the first time this has been cast against me. This card, I don't think is normally that great against us if we can get a Scarab God down. If you can't get a Scarab God down, though, it's kind of hard. So, alright. Well, that's a card. So we're going to probably spend this turn Gearhulk into Glimmer. Or Gearhulk into Vraska Contempt. They might play a threat, and then we can Gearhulk Contempt and then 10 them and win the game. So, doesn't matter. That's a 2-2. Alright. We're going to get our Glimmer on with our Gearhulk. And we're doing this to spend all our mana. And, what's it called? Get this stupid Hulk down. Now, they might have braid us, because they all leave in their braids. We have so few win cons. Interesting to braid us before we finish our Glimmer. This way I knew to take a Gearhulk when before I might not. I mean, you almost always do, but I don't know if that was... That play was fascinating. That's the way I'd say it. Alright, Moment of Craving and Deadeye Tracker. So Deadeye Tracker is 1, 2, 3. It's good here because it stops this. Yeah, we probably just take both of these. It's not super exciting, but... They're 2 spells, and they're both kind of relevant. Alright. And if they use a kill spell on the Deadeye Tracker, I'm not super upset. Now, this is one way you do lose to the deck, is they like... Alright, so they had another land in hand. Alright, well, we're going to time walk them. It sucks not getting to cast Memory. I love to cast Memory off this card, but, you know, kind of want to win the game. That'd be cool. Oh, I always forget to click OK. Cast Commit. Alright. I know, we're the worst. We have all the cards, we don't do anything. I was told this many times yesterday. Alright. So, I just want to see if we get a land drop here. Since we have the Disallow, the Essence Scatter, and the Glimmers. I also don't want... oh, hang on. Okay, they concede. So we move on to the next game.